Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Rant Bollox. We're on, again, the review train, and we're doing Season 8, Episode 5, The Bells, I believe it's called.
The Bells!
The Bells! We've had 24 hours to kind of let this sink in. You watched it before, I was a little bit delayed. But yeah, I think it's nice to have those 24 hours just to kind of make sure we're getting all our points across and our feelings are correct. But what the fuck, Paul? What is like the way I
That's the review. We're done. We're out.
Here's the thing, because we did episode 4 just a couple of days ago, and you basically
Did it yesterday.
It was, yeah. Why does that seem like 2-3 days ago? It was only 24 hours. But you kind of broke. Yeah, like you almost broke on episode 1. Like I know you weren't really keen on it, but you basically broke on the third Winterfell and the Night King. Like you kind of like just don't have any more faith in it. The Night King's gone. What are they doing? You know. And even though it's the second last episode, yesterday is the one that broke me. Like, it's just everything that we've been talking about. It's been confirmed. It's Rocky 5. You know, it's not living up to its potential. But like just general overview thoughts, and then we can go into some things.
I think, well, let's just be nice to everybody. We'll say there's spoilers as always, everybody. And if there's people out there that, you know, like this episode and they think it had great visuals and it had good development of the characters. And there's people out there who's going to be thinking, oh, this is the way it was always supposed to be. And this is a great way to end the season. And it's all this. I could say to them, get the fuck out of here. This is not the podcast for you. We're not dealing with you today. We're dealing with everybody who's just thinking, that's the best you came up with. 10 fucking years. And that's the best you came up with.
100%.
I was like, no, I couldn't deal with it.
So
it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I can see what they were hoping, but it doesn't work. You just shit on 7 years of storytelling.
They really did. I think what's happening is they're rushing it. Like, and I've heard that they were offered 10 episodes. Maybe they should have done 12, but they're rushing it. And I think that's one of its main issues, is they're just trying to get it done. You can tell they just want to get it done, and they don't really care about the character growth or anything. And it's not taking any risks. It's playing it safe. And that's never been Game of Thrones. Like, it's always been a very surprising series, you know? So those are, for me, I think it boils down it to me, is that they're rushing it. It's 6. They know they got to fit it within them. I know they're an hour and 20 minutes, but just go ahead and just make them 45 minutes. And I think they could have told some of those stories a little more, and they would have been more believable. Even if it did the same scenarios, the same deaths, and the same route, I would have enjoyed it more if they told it over a longer story. But I still think they probably should have changed some deaths and some scenes. But yeah, like so
they just jam-packed the deaths into that episode.
They did indeed, but they were so unsatisfying. I mean, we usually jump all over the place with our reviews, but I guess I could start off with Lord Varys with his death. That was fucking shite. Wasn't that guy supposed to be like a master manipulator and he's writing he's writing those things and then burning them, like, oh, they're coming in, I'll burn this letter, you know, and all that lot. And then like, he's been in it since the beginning, and I felt like his death was really lame. Like, there was no music, it was just like a silent, and she's just putting him to death with the dragon breathing fire him, which she's done so many times. I get it, maybe that's her signature thing, but even just the way it was shot, like there was nothing. I wasn't tense at all. I was just like, oh, this might not happen, and then suddenly they just blew him away, which also is nice, easy CGI for them, because they didn't even show him or anything. But yeah, just I don't know why, but I just noted down when I saw that no music. I didn't feel anything. But also just the fact that he died so quickly and for the reasons and stuff. I don't know how you felt about that.
Well, to me, the whole episode, the reason it doesn't work is because that's not what we've seen for 7 years. That's the first thing.
Sure.
And like, I'm not the biggest fan of Daenerys Targaryen. She isn't my favorite character or anything. I don't want to protect her and be like, oh, she's my hero. I'm like, yeah, sometimes she's a fucking lunatic. Sometimes she's a little bitch. I get that. That's why she's a good character. She's not one-dimensional.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm watching this and I'm just thinking, where the fuck did that come from? Like, people are gonna. We've had a day, so like people have been online. I'm sure everyone's got their theories, and there's a backlash, and then there's a backlash to the backlash. It's like Daenerys has always been crazy, and I'm like, all right, Daenerys has always been crazy. We'll get into that in a minute. But Varys, he suddenly becomes a fucking idiot. Tyrion becomes a fucking idiot. Jaime's whole journey, he just turns around, goes back to his sister, and dies in the fucking caverns. Cersei, who's the meanest, cruelest, strongest woman in all of the fucking world, suddenly turns into a crybaby in the fucking thing. The two Clegane brothers, they both die because they have to die in a fiery pit and there's no other way to end that fight.
Yep.
Arya, who's become a fucking assassin, she turns around and runs away because the Hound says, you know, revenge might not be for you, little one. And Jon's just standing around like a fucking gumpty. And the whole thing is like, every single character got shat on in that episode.
I agree. Like, even the way you went through that list, I was like, tick, 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 you know. It was shameful.
And that's the thing. Yeah, like the Daenerys thing is the big thing because that's the biggest, most extravagant thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you've been watching any one of those characters, you're like, why is this? Why is that? What is going on? Who is this? And it's like, yeah, none of the Varys getting him killed. He's supposed to be the spy master, the guy who knows everything. He's got his birds everywhere. And he decides that he's going to, try and talk treason with Tyrion straight out in the open. And then he's going to write letters. And then he's going to go to Jon out in the open and be like, you know what? You're probably a good Targaryen. I know you're a Targaryen. We're friends, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Kill them all. 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's the same with the Cleganes. It was the same with everything. It was just like, we have 2 episodes left. Shit. Rush to
That's
it.
exactly how I felt. They were just like, we need to get this done. Okay, that's done. We need to get this done. All right, just tick that off kind of thing.
Even what's his face? Fucking twatty sailor. Euron Greyjoy.
Yeah.
All his ships get blown up. Oh, what the fuck? He just gets up on shore exactly where Jaime is at that exact moment.
One thing I noticed,
so they can have a fight.
So they can have that fight. Also, no one was there for that fight. And then you got the Jaime and Cersei. No one was there to witness anything. Then you've got the Hound in the mountain. No one was there. Just one-on-one, things where there was no one around them. But the 2 things. I mean, there's so many things that annoyed me. And I do have some likes for the episode as well. But the 2 that really, really bothered me. First one, Cersei didn't do anything. She literally stood there the whole episode. And now I think about it, she stood there the entire season. Like, she didn't do anything.
It's true.
But like, especially that episode, just the way she stood there, and sure, she believes in her city and she's like, it's fortified, blah 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 blah, but like, she just did absolutely nothing. And then the other thing is Dany and how quickly she turned. And I know that's a big thing and a lot of people are going to be talking about that, but this is where I think more episodes could have helped that. But the fact she just turned, and I know they did say she hasn't slept for 2 or 3 days, but and you could see the bags under her eyes. But the fact that she just turned into this, I'm going to burn all the civilians, in the village, from that to an episode or 2 ago, and she's all fine. It's just not believable and very, very rushed, incredibly rushed. And now I know exactly basically what's going to happen in the next episode, because they've obviously made her out to be the bad person now. She can't be sitting on the throne. So there's going to be Jon going to try and take it, maybe Arya try and kill her. There's some interesting scenarios how that will plan out. But I just think I could see their book and how they've written it, and it's so obvious. It's so Hollywood. It's the cheap way out.
It really is cheap. That's the thing. It's like, it might be fun and you might think, oh, look at the special effects are great and the dragon, oh my god, this is such a spectacle. And it's just like, but it's cheap. It's real cheap.
Yeah, it's the easy way out. Also, just a minor thing. There was so many. I actually found that dragon, blowing up the city. It was in my likes, but then at the end of it, I've got, but was it too long? Like, I kind of got bored of it after a while. And then I was like, just take out 2-3 minutes or 2 minutes of this and show us some of the dog. Like you couldn't afford the fucking dog. So
just cut away like 30 seconds. The dog and Tormund walking through the snow, having a chat, having a joke. That'd be great. One man and his dog, because he'd probably talk to the dog like, we're going to the north. You'll like it up there. You want some milk? Here's some milk.
Yeah, I'd rather see that.
I can't believe they've done this. It seems so obvious that it's not obvious that it's like one of those, you wouldn't do that because it's so stupid. But we did it. So that means we're not stupid. You're stupid. That's just like, what the fuck are you guys been doing? Like, here's the thing. I've read a lot now on the Twitters and the comments and stuff about the last to Daenerys transition. It's like, she's a Targaryen. She's always going to be mad. She was only mentioned being mad by Varys, like, at the start of this episode.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And then he gets killed. And Tyrion betrays Varys because, oh, well, that's just what he has to do. Sorry, Queen. And then he sees that he was wrong. And you're like, if you track it back, people are trying to defend this, being like, oh, it was always on the cards. It's like, I don't care that she went and killed a bunch of people. I kind of care. It's pretty awful. It was horrifying. I'll give it that. They did a really good job of making it really extra awful. They cut off a lot of hands and fucking necks. And here's more rape, because rape always shows how people are bad. Like, it was bad. It showed her being really bad. I don't have a problem with that. It's that you didn't earn that. That's not the story you've been telling for 7 years.
Yeah.
You could have, like you said, had more episodes, spread it out, and start to put it in there. Whenever she's killed somebody, like Varys, like the slavers at Marine, like anybody, she's always done it to either solidify her power or to punish people who've done wrong against innocent people.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, she's killed people. She's ransacked cities. She's a queen. She's from the Dothraki. She's a Khaleesi. She's tough. She has no mercy. She killed Tarly's father and brother because they wouldn't bend the knee. Like, she will kill her enemies.
Yes, 100%.
That is a queen. That is what Cersei does. The difference was always, she was the breaker of chains. She was the one who's going to destroy the wheel. She's going to change the way the world is run. This is why everyone loves her. And then what you do is you go, okay, we kill her best friend and she can't have sex with her nephew. So now she's going to lose her fucking mind because someone rang a bell.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's not worth it. It doesn't work. It just, as a writing thing, it doesn't work. I don't care if you like Daenerys or not. I don't care if you like where they went with it or not. You don't earn that. You just don't earn it. It's the fucking Martha of this whole goddamn world.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, actually.
Here's some, like, when you were watching it, right? And they had the bells thing, right? And that moment happens.
Yeah.
Like, what were you thinking as that was going on?
Well, I mean, I thought it was Jaime that went up there. He was ringing the bells, just like Tyrion said, and then they're all gonna put down their swords, and then I guess Dany would just kind of, maybe take out Cersei just on her own, kind of thing. That's kind of where I thought it might go, but I knew there would be more to the episode to that. But that's kind of where I saw her going. But then I guess she's just sitting there with her dragon, and then she just flips, doesn't it? She just ticks, goes over the edge, and starts fucking some people up, I guess.
It's like the bells show that they've surrendered.
Yeah.
The army is surrendered. Nobody in that city knows who the fuck she is.
Right.
They've never done anything to her.
Yeah.
So for her to suddenly become this, not just like angry or, hurt, like, she's out and out killing every living thing in that city, men, women, and children.
Oh yeah.
That's not the character. It's never been the character to do that.
No, exactly. She's always had a reason or a motive, and it's always been a backing for that. But yeah.
And it's doubly annoying because there's no real precedent for killing innocent people so blatantly, and to like you said, it got to the point where it was boring. Like she's doing it everywhere,
Yeah.
all the time. It wasn't like just get it out of her system. It's like she went full psychopath, full madness, like total Targaryen madness. But she's never had that either. The second part of that, the second part that bugs me about that is she does all these horrible things with no cue. Like it's just the war is won. She's sitting on the dragon. She hears the bells, and the writers, the writers came out and said this. It's because it was spontaneous. She saw the Red Keep, and that's what her family built for hundreds of years, and it just set her off.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. That's you can't build a show around characters and then lose your fucking mind about it.
Yeah, they went fucking crazy, the writers.
Like they did. They just what I'm getting at is that you could do that. You can have Daenerys lose her mind. If you're going to do that, do it in the end of the last episode when Missandei gets her head cut off.
Sure, yeah.
Give it a trigger. Give it something that's going to be like that. Maybe she starts by killing the queen, and then by killing the queen, she accidentally kills Jon. There's a great moment there.
Yep.
She's killed Jon, she's killed Cersei, and then she realizes she's lost everything. She is the Mad Queen, and she just goes, fuck it, and she just loses her mind.
Exactly. That's exactly what it needs. It needs something like that. Like she's burnt. Maybe she killed, Grey Worm or someone like that, you know?
Yeah, but no, it's, she lost Jorah, she lost Missandei. She's got her city. What's she going to do? Lose her mind and kill every living creature on the fucking planet. In the city.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
This is what I got to say to it.
Shame. Shame.
There. That's what I got to say to
Absolutely
that. Absolutely
perfect. Sponsored by Shame Bell. What I was going to say is to go with that as well is that first of all her dragon must have had some crazy Mexican food because he is just blowing fire everywhere, for hours. But the thing that also bothered me was in the previous episode they took down one of the dragons and they kept mentioning, she's down a dragon. There's only one dragon. Clearly, she didn't need 2 or even 3. And then those scorpion, they were called scorpions, aren't they? Scorpions, the things that shoot at the dragons.
Get over
here. Absolutely no problem. This episode, she just destroyed 30 or 40 of them so easily.
Yeah, one swoop.
And remember what we were talking about in the last episode with Euron, and he's looking up. And we think, is it Bran and his crows, which it obviously never would have been. I was like, is there other?
God, I miss Bran.
Is there other?
Remember him? Remember that was the most annoying thing in the episodes? Bran looking at you.
I'd rather see Bran just painting a wall in his wheelchair. So
I would have liked 80 minutes of Bran just staring at me for this episode. Fucking hell.
That should be a one of those fireplaces, like YouTube fireplace. It's just Bran in his chair.
It's coming next week. I'll put it up on our channel.
That would be so funny. But it's
a combination of Bran and her burning the city. 10 hours long.
Just 10 hours of it. She just there was no threat at all against them. It was so easy. The ships, the Iron Fleet, they kind of built that up for a while. She literally took them out. I reckon that was on screen for 38 seconds or something. And that's it. The Iron Fleet gone.
I was watching that scene and I thought, okay, she's going to take out a couple of ships and then we might get somebody else, some more of the Theon Greyjoy's family are going to fucking rise up and she'll have an extra few things. And then in the back of my head, I couldn't get over it. I just thought, why in the name of Christ doesn't she attack them at nighttime?
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
I'm just like, why is there this fucking rules of engagement that you're in a dragon, fly at them at nighttime when they can't see you?
That's hilarious. I didn't even think about that either. Yeah.
But it did, like I said, it didn't last. By the time I'd had that in my head, she'd blown up every ship there.
Yes, exactly. So she's like,
and I was like,
yeah,
all right, there you go. Why did you need 3 dragons? Why did you need a Dothraki army? Why did you need the Unsullied? You could have just flown right in and fucking killed them all day one.
Yeah, incredibly overpowered, and just no. It wasn't tense. Like, it was tense, obviously, because the scene was shot really well, and it looked claustrophobic in the caverns of the city and stuff. But it was just way too overpowering, and I think that's why it got boring for me as well. Like, towards the end, I was just like, okay, another swoop of the dragon, another this, and oh, she is going to take down the whole city. But there was just no retaliation. Like, I thought maybe as she gets closer to Cersei, maybe there's a couple more of those scorpion things, so that kind of stops her from getting close, and she has to back off or whatever. But nope, nothing.
No.
So,
but that's also why the scene doesn't work from a writing point of view. If I'm going to break it down, is that they clearly had a point where they're like, fuck, we can't show fire blowing up buildings and killing people all the time because no one knows who these people are. We got to get somebody in there. All right, here's Arya. Arya's running through the fucking town. And it's like, what? Arya? What?
yeah.
What are you talking about? Okay, she's going to be at every near miss.
Yeah.
Like every time it swoops by, it'll be there. And then every time someone gets burned, she'll be there. And it's only because she's the only fucking character that they could put in that scene. Yeah. Otherwise, as cruel as it is to say, if she's not there, I could watch people getting burnt alive for hours.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter. It after like the first moment of like, oh Jesus, what she's doing, then you're just watching special effects on screen.
Yeah, it is exactly that, and it would have been better if there was an actually reason for her being there. But the fact that it was as little as the Hound saying, "If you go beyond this point, you're going to be dead," and then she's like, "Thanks, buddy," and that's it. That was literally it.
Yeah.
So there was no real reason for her being there. Like, she went all that way, and she's a smart girl, she's a talented girl, an assassin, and all it took was the Hound saying, "Don't go beyond here because you will die." It's like he could have said that to her before they left off for King's Landing. But Valor
Morghulis doesn't count anymore, I guess, if you're an assassin.
I guess so. There was way too many scenes of her like dodging rocks and being blown away, but then getting back up as well. That got a little almost comical for me. I was just like, oh, another one of those. And then
it's the same with the. It's the same with the Clegane thing. Like, they're fighting on the stairs, and it's like there's always a rock falling just beside their head.
Yeah.
It's always just right off beside them. When Cersei and Jaime are going, it's just right behind them, right to the side of them. It's like, fuck this.
I want to sprinkle in some good things because we've just been like bullshit here, bullshit there.
Well, you got your Deadpool at work now. That's probably cranking up the numbers.
Yeah, I haven't done because you know what? I didn't actually tick off Cersei yet because some people are saying, is she still alive? Is she under the rubble? I don't think so. I think she's gone, which is awful because that's the worst way for Cersei and Jaime both to go with no one seeing them down there as well. Just it was so unsatisfying. That's like I thought.
Yeah, that's it. It's unsatisfying. Like, you can write a story that's realistic, but get ahead of yourself and just think, do people want realism? Is that why I'm watching a show with fucking dragons? Because I want to see how shitty the world is, and I know that any day of the week somebody can get hit by a bus. It's like, no, I want something satisfying. Even if it's depressingly like an ending. As if it's satisfying. If you actually write for 7 years a story about a guy who's in love with his sister, pushes a kid off a tower, and how do they end? In a fucking dungeon getting smashed by rocks? Go fuck yourself.
I know. If you were to jump ahead, like in season 3 or 4, or even season 2 or whatever, and say this is how this ends, people would just be like, no way. They just wouldn't believe it. They'd just be like, what the heck?
No. Between like everything that happens to them and everybody wants to kill them, and it's like, oh, we're gonna do a little bit of a twist. Nothing happens. They just die in a basement. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, that was piss.
It's a real fuck you to the audience. It's, I'm getting more angry as I think about it. Just as much as Daenerys' thing is like it's a big show off, and it's like, here's a dragon, that's why we can't afford any fucking dire wolves. Whatever. Blow your load on your dragon shots. That's what you wanted for so long. But you shit on Jon, Arya, Jaime, Cersei, even Grey Worm to some extent, Varys, Tyrion, and fucking Clegane in one episode. That's your whole
that's
show.
an achievement
That's
right there.
8 fucking characters destroyed. Yeah, it is. They've done something no one else could have thought possible. They threw away the greatest fucking TV series of the 2000s, like the millennium. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Breaking Bad came out, so fuck them guys.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Someone tweeted, maybe the ending of Lost wasn't so bad. I thought that was quite a good one. But I mean, we're on a roll of rants of bad stuff here. So the other thing that kind of bothered me was was Jaime and Euron. Like how I don't see him as like the greatest fighter. Maybe like salesman or whatever. Salesman. But
Salesman.
A leader of the
That's a great pun on a.
He's a salesman. trying to sell something to you. Sell something.
Have I never heard that before?
That's good.
Oh,
but,
here's a quick thing.
Anyway,
Actually,
those
I
two
noticed
fighting.
that you'll like the. No, here's real quick.
Yeah.
The last episode, the one that broke me. That's the lowest rated episode of all time on IMDb already.
Yeah.
And then the one from yesterday is looking like it's going to beat it.
Oh wow! I was going to mention IMDb because I'm pretty sure they started off in the 8s and then it's just been going down since then, hasn't it? So
yeah, I think
it just goes to show that it's all gone to shit.
It's really got the shit because IMDb, yeah, like anybody can vote on it, but to have such a super high rating after 7 years means there's a lot of fans that they always bump up the numbers or whatever. But I think you kind of like you broke everybody with the shit you've done in this final season.
Hello, sir. Sorry, you cut out there.
Hello. I'm still rolling, so it's good.
Yeah, I could just cut that out. Yeah, the IMDb. So the 3rd episode is the lowest rating.
The fourth one, the
okay,
one with the
right.
yeah.
I mean,
the one where it's like, this is a great episode if it wasn't the final season.
I know. It's like I said, I was looking at it and it looked like they were just progressively going down as well. Like I'm not sure if this one's even lower or the same, but just there's so many nitpicky things, and I know IMDb is based on how many people I think do it as well, but it's not just us. Obviously, it's not liking this. It's a lot of people. In fact, I haven't actually heard anyone say that they loved it, like everything, and that they wouldn't change anything. Like that's rare to find anyway.
Like I've heard people being like in defense of Daenerys going apeshit because she's the mad Queen Targaryen. Yeah. That's fine if that's what gets you off. Yeah, great. But I haven't heard anybody being like, "Oh, wall to wall, greatest episode ever." It's like, really? Yeah. The Cersei 8 seasons, 10 years. You've been watching Cersei be a bitch, and it's like
she died in a basement.
The whole show starts because Jaime and Cersei are having an incestuous affair. Bran catches them and he pushes them out the window. Yeah. That's the end of the first episode. Actually, sorry. The first episode, so everyone's very clear on this, because I double checked. I was like, did they start in season 2 or season 1? The first thing in season 1 is the fucking appearance of the Whites.
Right, okay, yeah.
And the last thing in episode 1 is Bran getting pushed out the window by Jaime and Cersei.
Yeah.
And here we are, 8 seasons and 10 years later, and none of that fucking mattered, did it?
10 years as well. That's 10 years just gone down the shitter.
Yeah, it's Endgame. This is the Endgame of Game of Thrones, and they did not do as good a job as the Russo brothers did. This fucking D&D, as everyone calls them. It's like, fucking, you guys had the best toy box in the world, and you fucking took your pants off and shat in it, then munched all the toys together and threw it down the fucking street. I was like, fuck. How do you ruin this so badly?
There's got to be some There's got to be some reasoning for it, like as in like they might, when the next episode comes out and it's all finished, there's got to be some kind of statement. Like it's not going to be an official statement saying we fucked up, because it's still got the money, got decent ratings, I guess. But there's going to be such an uproar of like how bad the quality is compared to the other 7 seasons. So I'd imagine someone's going to write something and say, they wanted to finish it up quickly, get the prequel started or something. Something will come out of their woodwork.
And like everything in it just makes me question the HBO's decision to let these guys write it. And I can understand where it came from. It's like they were there for the first 6 seasons and they were obviously part of all that. But the 6 seasons are all based on George R. Martin's books and his story and the way he wanted it to go. Yeah. And he might have turned around and people said, well, this is the way George wants it to end. I can't say either way. George Martin has either written the books to have a similar ending, or he's going to just learn his lesson and be like, oh, fuck, I'm not making that mistake, and go a different way. But I would say it's going to be very different simply because the books have different characters and different narratives and subplots, and some people die and some people don't, and all that. His books were always going to be different. He might have said, oh, in the end, Daenerys becomes insane like her father and her grandfather, like she loses her shit. He definitely didn't fucking write it as terribly as this came out. That's the thing. It's like there's no real defense for where they went with this. It disrespects the fans. It disrespects the story you've been telling of Daenerys being a strong, powerful, independent woman who's going to rule. It destroys every other character around them in like a fucking bomb zone of destruction. And the fallout is like, it's going to be, I think it's going to be worse than Lost, because it's going to be years of people back and forth saying it's great. And then most people saying it's shit. You know what I mean? I got a Batman Superman feel from it. It's like the people who love it are going to be like, this is the way it should always have been. And everyone else is going to be like, really?
And we mentioned it last episode as well. It's not like it's gradually got worse or anything. It's like it's suddenly turned from season 7 of us all being on the hype train and loving it and being put together really well, and then them hyping up that, oh, it's only 6, but they're going to be epic movie lengths and written well, and they're going to be an hour and a half and stuff. So it gets us pumped up even more, and then it just suddenly became obvious that they wanted to get it done quickly and the quality wasn't quite there.
I should mention a point, because I've like all season long been like, Tyrion's an idiot. Why is Tyrion an idiot? Tyrion's not smart. Stop saying he's smart and actually show that he's smart. And that's bad writing. And then somebody just made a great comment in one of our videos. Shadowcat made the great point of the reason they can only say he's smart is because the writers are not smart enough to write him being smart. They can just say it. I was like, that's fucking great.
That's
it's
so
true.
good, yeah.
And like, the thing that I think everybody's going to try and have a debate over is Daenerys, she's mad Targaryen, but, she would have killed people back in the day, but Jorah's dead and Missandei's dead, and they're not there to mitigate her more reckless attitude. It's like, all right, now explain to me why she's killing women and children endlessly. Like, it doesn't work for what you've created as a character. And it just kind of shits on like everybody's story that we've had played out for 10 years now. They're all worthless. Like every single one of them didn't live up. Cersei, like, take Daenerys killing everybody in Queen's Landing. That's the worst, most awful thing we've ever seen. Ever. Nobody's ever done anything worse than that. The Red Wedding, the fucking attacks on what was the Sept, the when she blew up everything with that bomb attack. She killed a bunch of innocent people. Like, Cersei did that. That paints her as the bad guy. Now we see Daenerys. She was never the good guy. She was always the worst possible thing. Yeah, you didn't really fucking build to that properly. Like, just saying, oh, she's mad. That's easy. That's too easy. It's the easy out. But like, she's fucked because she's not doing anything. Sansa might as well have died in the last episode because she's got nothing to do now. Cersei dies because they couldn't figure out what to do with her. Jaime's the same. The Hound is the same. Arya could have been killed. It didn't fucking matter because she somehow killed the Night King, which gets us back to Jon, who came back from the dead, was risen by the Lord of Light, was supposed to lead the free men of the North, ends up doing fuck all in the goddamn battle, and is now just looking around going, my aunt is a bit of a crazy bitch, isn't she?
He's been doing fuck all the whole season. Ever since he met Dany, he's just taken the back seat and his balls are in our hands.
Yeah. Like, if you're going to turn Daenerys into a mad queen, fine. Like I said, that's fine. I don't have a problem with whatever story you tell. It's that you tell it badly. And to do that where you're like, okay, we're going to put all our eggs in this fucking basket, then do it. Go for the last 5 episodes showing that. Don't do stuff like, well, Jon wouldn't have sex with her and her best friend's head cut off. That's why she's suddenly going to give up and kill every living person in the city. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. And if you're going to do that and you're going to, this is our fucking fanboy story. We're going to make everything about this magic moment here. Did you really have to shit on every other character to get there as well? Brienne of Tart fucked over. Jorah kind of fucked over, but he got his death that he wanted. Theon dies because Theon had to die and they had nothing else to do. Like, it drains you after a while when you go back to the season thinking, what did you do with all your toys?
It's like you said as well. It's not like they messed up one character; they've messed up all of them by doing this. So it's like it's a slap in the face to the actors as well. Really, when they're reading the script and like, what? Really? What? I heard that they might have filmed multiple endings as well. So it'd be interesting to see which one they choose as well.
Oh, did you see the video that somebody made up, which is, I think they edited it together after last week's episode?
Don't think so.
It's called something like 3 minutes of Game of Thrones actors being disappointed with the finale.
It just popped up on my YouTube like an hour ago. It's good, yeah.
Like, I watch those. I don't watch those because I'm like, you can edit things to make it look like people are sad or whatever, and clever editing makes things look worse than it is. This doesn't really need a lot of editing. Like, this is an interviewer on the carpet or in a studio asking any particular actor, being like, so what's the final season like? And just they hesitate and their pauses and they're just like, it's something. All right. Yeah. But the one that just gets me is what's his name? Kit Harington's doing a film interview for an interview for a film for something else, and then he's sitting there with the interviewer, and she's just like, I can't let you go without asking you about season 8 of Game of Thrones. He's like, oh, okay, of course. And he's like, I'll keep it simple. Can you sum up what the finale will be like for the fans in one word? And he just looks at her and goes, disappointing. And then he's like, oh, I'm joking, epic,
It's like, no, you really meant that.
And you meant this, like that was a deadpan fucking thing. And Emilia Clarke, when she gets asked about the finale, she just laughs. She's like, oh yeah, it's coming.
Interesting.
And it's just, having watched this episode and that, I'm just like, yeah. So Emilia Clarke, for everyone who wasn't paying attention, she has to sit on her green spongy dragon on a green screen while the director goes, okay, so in 5, 4, 3, you're hearing the bells. You're real angry. Okay, go. Kill everybody. And that's the last thing you see. They don't show any more close-ups of her on the dragon. They don't show any reactions to her. And that's either because they couldn't write a fucking logical, emotional reaction that she would have when we looked at her on top of the dragon. Like, is she going around cackling like fucking Skeletor? Like, what's she doing up there? And then maybe Emilia Clarke is just like, I don't really want to perform while I'm supposed to be a mass murderer of children.
True. Yeah.
So if you guys could just, do lots of wide shots.
Yeah, just show the flag and flying by. You can see me in CG on the back. The same thing with Cersei. And they probably just told her, just stand here, and then we'll have King's Landing out there on the green screen. And then what else would you like me to do? Oh, no, just stand there for the episode. This is supposed to be the last battle, isn't it? just stand there, please. It's just yeah.
So what is this? Is this the scene before I have my big ending, and then she gets her script pages for the next day? So me and Jamie, we just hug in the dungeon because the door's blocked, and then we get crushed. Okay, so that's what I've been working on for 10 years. Great, thanks,
it all comes
guys.
down to that. Someone paused that
Jon
scene
Snow.
there as well. Just sorry, when they were hugging at the end. Now I don't know if it's. You can see Jamie's hand, and it looks like just a real human hand. So it's like, oh, he just grew back his hand for that scene. It could have just been the lighting, but it didn't look like a metal hand. So another little.
Well, they have no money left for wolves, so they've no money left for hands.
Exactly. Yeah. I did enjoy. Hey, I enjoyed something. There
we go.
It was what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the hound fight the mountain. So like there was parts of that was kind of there was a funny scene before where Cersei just like tiptoes past them, doesn't she? She's just like, I'm just gonna go down here. But then the hounds. Oh no, the mountain. Sorry, wasn't obeying his queen. And then dude, what's like the wizard dude, whatever his name is. I don't have his name, but he's just like, you must obey your queen. And then the mountain just picks him up and throws him down the stairs. Just the way he died so quickly was hilarious, and his head just like kind of cracked into the wall. But that little fight with them was like fairly tense, and even at the end, the hound's just like, why won't you just fucking die? And just stabbing him to pieces. That was kind of entertaining. And then I don't know, running towards the wall at the end and knocking them both out was a bit shitty, but anyway, that was something.
That's the thing, like it's the end of it. It was just like, we have to wrap this up and get back to the dragons. So it's like
another
great,
scene where it's just two of them and then they just throw them into the flames. So
I really don't understand what the hell they're trying to do. Are they trying to make sure they never work in TV again or what?
Here's something. What do you think is going to happen? Because we always like kind of predict, and unfortunately we always predict really cool scenarios, but I think we now know that they're going to go down the easy route. But what are we left with? Have you seen the trailer for the next one?
No, I actually couldn't fucking stand it. I was like, no.
It doesn't really show it. I mean, it's everything that you think. Like, Dany's just kind of, her army's there. She's not. They don't show her sitting on a throne because we don't even know if the throne's still standing. But it's just it's Jon and Arya and a couple of people kind of looking at her a little bit weird, thinking you have gone a bit crazy. I don't think you see her face; it just shows her back. So she could be like all eyes lit up, like she's on cocaine or something. But from I think Arya is going to try and kill her. I think Jon is going to maybe try and do something as well. I don't know how it's going to.
Who doesn't want to kill her?
I guess so. Point? Yeah, she's gone completely insane. The one scenario that I did hear, again, because I want it to happen, it won't happen, is I can see something. It would be cool if Jon tries to kill her, or at least Arya does, and he saves Arya's life, and then Dany's just like, "You committed treason. I'm gonna, I've got to kill both of you," or she's gonna burn Jon, but then the dragon doesn't burn Jon, and just is like, no, he's the true. Like the dragon knows that he's the true king. So that could be kind of interesting. Maybe the dragon kind of chooses Jon over her. Again, probably won't happen, but an interesting scenario. And then the other things I wrote down was, are we going to see Bronn, and are we going to see Bran, and are we going to see Sansa, or are those guys actually gone? Like they're just done.
They're done, yeah.
Like Bronn would be a weird one, just because he found his way into the city. We had that cool scene with the crossbow. Like, is he done? Surely we see him, but even then, I don't think it's going to be anything meaningful.
Well, what's he going to do now? Because he can't kill Tyrion to get to Cersei's promise.
Yeah, he's
of being honored as a knight. Because now he's like, okay, she's dead.
The only way I can see it is that Dany turns on Tyrion, which she probably will. But maybe he's there to kind of, maybe he grabs him in the city and hides him or something, or protects him for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, if the story's going the way it looks like the writers have done it, it's like everything's going to come back to the way it used to be. In which case, I think it's a rebellion. It's like the whole thing that happened with Ned Stark. There's going to be the Mad King or the Mad Targaryen, the Mad Queen. She takes over the city, and then the Lannister, Tyrion in this case, just like his father did, he's going to let in the fucking rebels to kill her. In which case the rebels would be a representative of Starks, so probably Arya, and then a representative of the the Baratheon. So that, what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember his name.
Gendry.
Yeah. So Gendry is Robert Baratheon's son, and then Arya is Stark's daughter. So they're going to represent their fathers like they did before. Tyrion's going to represent his father like they did before. He's going to open the gates, and then Jon's going to become the queen killer like Jaime was or whatever, or Sansa will, and then the Baratheon and the Starks will get married, and then that's the new fucking empire or whatever. So everything's the same. The Game of Thrones. It's a big circle. Get it? It's like, fuck you guys.
I mean, that sounds shitty. So it's probably going to happen.
Yeah. If you're going to have a really good ending, it's going to be, fuck it. Bran is going to live up to his namesake. He's going to do what Tony did. He's going to figure out time travel. He's going to make everybody small or whatever, and they're all going to travel back, and they're going to fix this. Jon's going to get the 3 dragons from 3 different places in the timeline, and he's going to come and fight her over the city, and then we're going to have like a proper happy ending, whatever it takes.
Yeah. They're just copying the Avengers, aren't they?
Yeah. So Bran, who knows everything in history, knows everything, just doesn't do fuck and
I swear, if we don't see him, I mean, we're bound to see him, but if he just doesn't do anything, it's too late anyway. It's too late. It's an hour and 20-minute episode. It's too late for them to fix it. And then the other thing is the fact that it is an hour and 20 minutes. It's going to be so rushed. It's going to be fast travel, isn't there? It's going to be like a bloody computer game, when you bring up the map and say like, I want to fast travel there.
Put your tent out. Yeah,
it's going to be like that. We're going to see probably Sansa in King's Landing or something towards the end, but it's just going to be instant and cutting here, cutting there. Maybe we'll even cut to the north and see Tormund and the dog, but we'll see if they've got money for that.
That'd be the nice way to end it, just something happy. And it's like I said, it's not that I want happy or that I have a favorite character that I want to see survive. I just want a good story. And people have been posting these things like I said, it's like, oh, they haven't watched the previous 7 seasons, and it's nearly dead on true, because in the previous season 7, there's a scene where Daenerys actually says, I don't want to be the Queen of Ash.
Right.
When someone says, well, I just take the dragons, go in there and blow the shit out of it. It's like, I don't want to be the Queen of Ash. So in the space of 4 episodes, she suddenly had such horrible things happen where she couldn't, suck her nephew's dick, and she couldn't go and hang out with her buddy who does her hair, that she's going to kill everybody in that city that she's never been to and has never done anything to her. It's just ridiculous. But there's another moment that they don't even watch the previous 7 seasons. They don't even watch their own episodes, because apparently, and I haven't double checked this, but in episode 4, Bran tells maybe Jon that he has to let Jaime go to Knights or King's Landing because he's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
He has something to do down there, which is either kill Euron or get squashed. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like, they're not even listening to themselves anymore.
That's tricky. Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, we're at the point now of you're just watching a train wreck. You're just being like, all right, who gets to walk out?
Here's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, obviously, there's one more episode left, and we're gonna tune in. But it's just to see how the train crashes. It's not can it fix itself, get back on the rails. It's no. Does it fly off the cliff, or what does it hit on the way down?
I'd like it if, instead of all these theories of like Arya's going to do it, or Jon, or Sansa will turn up with an army or whatever, that it doesn't work like that. And it's just the start of the next episode is Daenerys just locking everybody up and killing everybody. And there's no twist. She's queen. She's crazy.
They
she's
do a bit
in charge.
of Thanos on her.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just
again,
go Infinity War on it. Yeah, it's like she snaps her fingers, gets John's head cut off, just like Ned Stark.
I believe that in the first 7 seasons, it could have possibly have had some kind of ending like that, but this one's just gone down the cheap Hollywood route. So yeah, like there's no risks being taken. So as good as that sounds, as a evil kind of darkish ending, it's just not going to happen 100%. So
no, and they haven't earned it, because it's like I said, where they weren't showing the actress on the dragon. They weren't showing Dany flying around, because at some point the visual spectacle of seeing a dragon blow things up isn't what the show's about. It's about these three-dimensional characters who kind of follow their own motivations regardless of what's happening around them, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And you're going to have scenes where she explains and talks and deals with people. Like, it's not going to be a little thing like, so you're a mass murderer now. What would you like for dinner?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just like, what's Tyrion going to say? What's Jon going to say? Are they all just like, it's bullshit at this point.
I think you mentioned it before as well, but just as you were saying, like the dragon, breaking the city, she didn't even need her army. Like, she could have just done it all, and she basically did it all herself. Like, the army waiting outside, I know she blew the doors open and stuff, but like, she could have literally have done that her whole self. Just take down all the scorpions, which she did, and then the rest of it's just a piece of cake. So so that was, it was so
like, there's the whole thing that you need an army so that you can hold your power. But if she had the 3 dragons, day one she could have flown over and blown up everybody. At nighttime.
The nighttime thing.
Before there was an Iron Fleet, before there was Euron, before Qyburn, that's the guy's name, the Meister, made the giant crossbow. Like, years ago she could have done this.
Bloody hell.
Bullshit.
Well, I guess that kind of wraps it up. It wraps up the...
My favorite episode ever. Definitely my favorite episode. It's really top quality.
Top
drawer.
It will be interesting to see where it ends up, like I said, how the train wreck, where it lies. But, we've said it again and again. Lacking for sure, but
lackluster.
What are we supposed to do? It's we'll see kind of where it ends up, and we'll do that final review. But so many things wrong. We didn't have too many good bits in this, but let us know what you guys think. Thanks for commenting.
Well, if you want a good bit, like, it looks fantastic,
of course, but so did most of the scenes. Most of the scenes are like art directed quite well. The shots, the candlelight, the lighting. Yeah, as long as you're not streaming it on Crave, where you get the banding and looks like a fucking rainbow with all the colors. But no, I mean, yeah, it's always looked great. It's always shot great. Obviously, the dragon scenes, the fire, and then the battle for Winterfell, like the zombies, the World War Z type stuff, terrific. But that is the only takeaway from this season. Is like, visually looks awesome, set pieces are great, but everything else has been thrown out the window.
Yeah. And if they wanted to make the attack horrible, it was. Like, you have that mother and daughter, like, charred ashes everywhere, bodies, and it looks like a nuclear bomb went off. It's horrible. It's horrifying, but, they did a good job of making it horrible.
One thing, I forgot. I think you're going to mention it. The fucking horse.
What the fuck was that? That fucking... She's looking at the bodies, and then the woman... The baby's holding, or the woman's holding her little baby's burnt horse thing. And there's a real horse there. And I was like, what is this Blade Runner shit? Why the fuck is Shadowfax there? What is going on? It's just like, what the
It's
fuck?
just like, there's fucking charcoal all around. And then this one white horse with a little bit of blood on it. It's just like, all right, should we get going now? It's just, yeah.
So, yeah.
Again, they were going for a nice visual, like burnt city, and and then the music was kind of playing, and it was all just playing by the book. So,
yeah, and it's, I guess academically, that's the only reason I want to watch the last episode, just so I can have watched the last episode. But I could not care less now.
What we could do, I'm trying to think, but it's probably not worth it. But I was trying to think, we can do a commentary over the last episode. Like we'll watch it, do our review, and maybe a commentary or something, or I don't know, or some. We'll try and do some kind of wrap up where we're talking over some visuals. But that could be quite painful for us.
It'd be painful just because you're like, what's going on? What is happening here? Again, if somebody is still listening after I told them not to, and they like that episode, good for you. I'm not going to take it away from you. Of course,
and everyone's got their own opinions, and there are people, like you said, are going to like the visuals, and maybe they like the way certain people died or certain things were wrote. And IMDb, I think it's still getting 7s and 8s, which are quite high. So there's obviously people liking it. But I think when you do break it down, and when you've seen the last 7 episodes, and you see the quality and how the characters progressed, and then you look at this one, there's no way that you can like what they've done in this season, like 100%. But yeah,
no.
But let us know. Please let us know in the comments. And thanks for commenting on the other videos as well. It's good to have some banter in the comment section.
Oh yeah, people have got some great fucking stuff they come up with. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a great point. Things like that. It's like shit. You guys are awesome. To that.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll link to that video that you mentioned about the actors hating on the season. I want to see
great. That. Disappointing, says Jon Snow. Check it out next week on HBO.
That's just going to be on the front of the Blu-ray, isn't it? All right. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. Thanks for listening.
Cheers.